Have you heard of Obodo Udo, the village of red earth and restless winds? Ah, Obodo Udo, where the ground glows like palm oil at sunset, and even the lizards nod to the rhythm of the talking drum. In that village, long ago, lived a woman called Neka, tall as a new palm, graceful as moonlight upon a river. Her skin shone like roasted cola, her eyes glimmered with secrets. When she walked through the market, even the wind followed her steps. The men looked upon her with hunger and awe, the women whispered behind calabashes, and the spirits above, they watched in silence. Neka was not content with admiration. She wanted power, she wanted riches, she wanted to be worshipped. Her laughter was sweet, but her heart thirsted for more than the hands of men could give. One Harmattan morning, when the air was white with dust and silence, Neka heard a strange bird singing near the edge of the forest. Its song was unlike any she had known, half sorrow, half promise. And in that song, a whisper called her name. She followed. Her anklets jingled softly. Leaves parted before her, as if they too feared what waited ahead. Deeper and deeper she went. Past the stream where maidens fetched water. Past the grove where hunters poured libation to Ani, until she reached the ancient Iroko tree of Ani. Tall, old, breathing with the memory of 1,000 secrets. There, beneath the Iroko, the air grew still. Mist rose from the roots, and from that mist stepped a woman, half beauty, half shadow. Her eyes like 2 moons. She spoke. Neka, daughter of Ugo Chukwu. I am Ihuoma, keeper of charms and forgotten desires. Why have you come where mortals fear to walk? And Neka, trembling yet proud, said, Mother of the unseen, I have come to be more than adored. I want hearts that obey me. I want men to kneel when I smile. Ihuoma's laughter echoed through the trees, neither kind nor cruel. What you seek, she said, is not love, but bondage. Still, every hunger must find its path. She reached into the folds of her woven cloth and brought out a small gourd, glowing faintly like trapped lightning. If you pour this water upon any man's shadow, she whispered, his heart will become yours, body, soul, and will. Then her tone deepened, like thunder rolling far away. But hear me, child. When 4 hearts beat for one woman through deceit, the 5th will rise and break the chain. And when that happens, the tears will rise too, tears that even the gods cannot hold back. Neka laughed softly. Tears are for those who lose, she said. I will not lose. And so, she took the gourd, and she left the forest smiling. The birds fell silent behind her. At the stream of Obodo Udo, where maidens sang and laughter rolled like beads, Neka bent to wash her wrapper. The sun touched her skin and turned it to honey. Obinna, the kind farmer, came to fetch water. He was a man whose heart was as soft as ripe plantain, whose laughter made even old women smile. When he saw Neka, his spirit trembled. He greeted her once. She answered with a smile that could melt yam in the mortar. That night, his dreams were full of her voice. Before the next moon, he came with wine, yams, and a heart too open for defense. They married. The village rejoiced. Obinna called her Nuyem, my wife, and Neka called him Dim. But her heart? Her heart was already restless. For Obinna's love was gentle, and Neka desired fire. Soon, she grew weary of his calm laughter. She wanted more than a farmer's joy. One evening, while Obinna slept, she carried the gourd and walked to the palm grove. There she saw Chike, the wealthy palm wine tapper, a man whose muscles gleamed and whose calabashes overflowed. She waited until the moon stretched his shadow across the earth, and poured. A silver stream touched his shadow. Chike gasped, dropped his rope, and turned to see her. The charm worked instantly. His eyes glazed like one staring into eternity. The next morning, he came to her compound with laughter too wide to hide. He said, Woman of the sun, I dreamt of you standing above my calabash. My heart is yours. Take it. And she took it. Now 2 men called her wife. 2 hearts beat under her name. and the gourd still held more water. When the moon was full again, Neka met Ekene, the hunter with arms like carved Iroko and eyes that saw far. He was brave, fierce, respected by all. But when Neka smiled at him from the edge of the path, his spirits stumbled. They spoke beneath the trees, and though he was strong, the charm made him weak before her beauty. He gave her antelope meat, beads, and oaths of devotion. When he kissed her hands, the spirits sighed. 3 hearts now. 3 men, each thinking he alone held her love. And then came Ozo, the teacher, wise, calm, his words soft like evening rain. He taught the children to count the stars, to listen to the earth before planting. But when Neka looked into his eyes, she saw something different, a mind she could not bend easily. Still she poured, and Ozo too fell. Now 4 men, 4 hearts beating for 1 woman. Each man built her a home, brought her yams, goats, wrappers, coral beads. Each called her Nunye M. And Neka smiled, a queen over 4 shadows. But the gourd grew lighter, and though her beauty remained, her spirit began to hum with a strange weight. The gods watched. The Earth Mother, Allah, wept in silence. At first, only the dreams changed. Each man began to see the same vision, a woman standing above them, pouring water upon their shadows. Each awoke sweating, heart trembling. They spoke not of it, but the unease spread like smoke. The yams began to rot before harvest. The palm wine soured before it reached the lips. Hunters lost their aim. Arrows refused to fly straight. Children fell ill. Goats birthed still. The elders whispered that the land was angry, that someone had broken a bond sacred to the spirits. And at night, the wind carried a woman's laughter through the compounds, soft, haunting, familiar. One night the thunder roared across the sky like an angry drum. The chief priest of Obodo Udo, Dibia Maduachita, woke from his mat trembling. He had seen a vision, 4 drums beating as one. And 1 woman dancing before them, laughing. He knew, the gods had spoken. 4 men, each thinking himself the one true keeper of Neka's love. But the land had begun to whisper, and whispers in Obodo Udo are never idle. The chief priest, Dibia Maduachita, summoned all the men who had seen the woman in their dreams. One by one they came, hands upon their hearts, eyes wide with fear and wonder. Obina, Chike, Ekene, and Dwozel. 4 men, 4 hearts, trembling like young palm fronds in the wind. The Dibia looked upon them, his face lined with the memory of spirits and storms. These 4 hearts, he said, his voice like distant thunder, belong to 1 woman. But hear me, her love is a chain forged in deceit. Bring her to the shrine, let truth speak, or the earth will swallow her name. Neka was brought to the shrine of Allah, beneath the ancient Iroko. Her coral beads clinked softly against her chest as she walked. She lifted her head, proud and defiant. But inside, a tremor had begun, small at first, like the first raindrop before the storm. The chief priest held up a bowl of white chalk and red palm oil. Neka, daughter of Ogachukwu, he said, you have used the tongue of spirits to twist the hearts of men. Speak truth, or the earth will claim your name. She smiled at first, a flicker of fire in her eyes. Then denial. I do not understand, she whispered. But when the 4 men stood before her, each calling her Nwenyem En, the ground beneath them shivered. The gourd of charm, held in her hands, burst, water spilling onto the earth, hissing like trapped serpents. A snake slithered from the shadows and vanished. The 5th heart had come, unseen, silent, and its weight pressed upon her chest. The Dibia raised his staff, the wood worn smooth by generations. The 5th heart, he said, voice trembling with awe, is not a man's. It is the heart of mercy, and it will teach what deceit cannot. He called upon the ancestors, calling the winds and rains of forgiveness. He mixed chalk with tears and drew a circle around Neka and the 4 men. For 7 nights, they sat in the circle, fasting, praying, weeping, listening to the silence between each heartbeat. On each night, Neka felt the weight of her deeds, the laughter she had stolen, the love she had twisted, the joy she had crushed. On the 8th dawn, a strange peace descended like fog over the village. Neka fell to her knees. Her tears ran freely, and the coral beads clinked like sorrowful bells. "Let them go," she cried. "Let them be free." When her tears touched the earth, a soft wind rose. The 4 men felt a fog lift from their souls. They looked at her, not with love, not with anger, but with understanding. The chief priest struck his staff 3 times upon the ground. The gourd's ashes rose in a gentle spiral, and a white dove burst forth, soaring into the sky. And with it, the last of Neka's deceit dissolved. Neka was sent to live by the riverbank, no longer proud, no longer seeking worship. Her wrapper was simple, her laughter soft, her voice carrying the wisdom of one who had fallen and risen. She tended the sick, helped mothers deliver their children, and guided those lost in grief to the arms of Allah. The 4 men returned to their homes, changed in ways the village could see and feel. Obina's heart tempered with courage. Tike's pride softened into generosity. Ekena's bravery now tempered with patience. Uzo's wisdom deepened, and he spoke like rain upon the earth. Yet, sometimes, when the fire burned low and the winds whispered, they would see Neka at the stream. Her laughter gentle, her eyes quiet but alive. And though the past could not be erased, forgiveness flowed like water, and the village flourished again.